So you're looking at a handheld that costs about $52 on AliExpress right now. And somehow it runs PS1, N64, Dreamcast, Nintendo DS, and has dual analog sticks. This is the Anbernic RG35XXH, and it might be the best budget handheld in 2025. So let's get to unboxing and see what we get with it. For the Anbernic RG35XXH, let's take a look what's inside. Okay. So let's just take a look at what's inside the box. We have wipes. We have instruction manual. We have a screen protector. And I believe this is the wire. Yep, this is a USB-A to USB-C wire. All right, so let's just put this around. And then we have the device. There we have it. All right, so this is what comes in the box. We have the USB-C to USB-A, we have 2 wipes, we have a screen protector, and we have the manual and the actual device. The first impressions is the device is actually pretty heavy, to tell you the truth. This one comes with a preloaded 5,000 games already on it. Let's do the breakdown. It has a 3.5-inch IPS display. It's 640 by 480. It has the classic 4x3. It has a surprisingly solid D-pad and face button. It does come with Wi-Fi, Bluetooth. We do have the HDMI out and 2 micro SD slots. I mean, this thing is pretty pocketable and pretty lightweight. It reminds me of a tiny Switch Lite. Also notice that it has 2 USB-C ports here at the top, a headphone jack, and the power. Here at the back, we have these 2 pads here, which feel relatively nice. It's where I guess your fingers lay on. Okay, so it does need to recharge. While it's recharging, we're actually going to put on the screen protector. Probably not, because the screen protector doesn't. So the screen protector is the exact size of the screen, the inner screen, not the bezel part, which is a little strange. I would have liked to see a whole full screen, including the bezels. This just feels a little weird to put on here like this. We're going to put it on anyway. All right. So this is the wet one. Let's just open the dry one. Have that ready. So from an angle, it still looks pretty dirty. So this is not really doing its job. We're going to take out one of my micro cloths, and we're going to, there we go. I'm going to put some a lot more, a lot better. A little nerve-wracking without a adapter. Let's see. Good part is that the screen is small enough that these bubbles come out relatively quickly. There's one up here, but they don't have too much to travel. All right. There we have it. We have the screen protector. All right, now let's get into why this little thing actually is impressive for the price. So yes, it has a real HDMI out. Plug in a mini HDMI cable and this thing outputs to a TV with no issues. Retro games on a big screen with a $52 handheld, I mean, that's not bad at all. It also has Bluetooth built in, so if you want to pair it with a wireless controller and play on the couch style, you can. You know, for this price range, most handhelds don't even bother including Bluetooth. Wi-Fi is here too, and that means Moonlight streaming works. You can stream lightweight PC games or emulators over your network. This isn't replacing a Steam Deck, but it's a cool bonus feature that most budget handhelds don't even attempt. So RetroArch is baked in, so if you're into tweaking cores, controls, filters, shaders, you could go as deep as you want into this. If you're not into tweaking, the stock profiles already work fine, but the option is there. So one of my favorite things is the dual SD card slots. Slot 1 is your system card and slot 2 is your storage. And it supports up to 512 gigabytes in the second slot, which is great storage for this type of handheld. This is running the H700 quad processor paired with 1 gigabyte of LPDDR4 RAM. I mean, that combination is the reason why this handheld performs better than most. More memory, faster chip, better emulation, and it still comes in at a good price. So I'll give you one pro tip. The included SD card is no name SD card. It works, but if you replace it with a SanDisk or a Samsung card, you'll get faster load times and way fewer random issues, and it's definitely worth the upgrade. So that's the feature set. HDMI out, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Moonlight, RetroArch, dual SD cards, and a better CPU older than the 35XX models. But the real question is, what can it actually play? So let's take a look at the real world performance. Here's how it stacks up in terms of consoles. PS1 is perfect. PSP lighter titles run great. Nintendo DS works well as long as the game doesn't rely on style-heavy controls. Arcade style is flawless across the Neo, CPS, and Mami. Sega systems, Genesis, Master System, Game Gear, even 32X all run very clean. 8-bit and 16-bit consoles with zero issues whatsoever. PlayStation 1 on here is basically flawless. Tekken 3 runs full speed and feels great on the controls. The PSP is solid for lighter games. Ridge Racer is smooth and it plays exactly the way it should. Classic arcade shooters always look good on camera. Arcade systems are basically perfect. 1943 runs with 0 issues and loads instantly. And of course, Sega systems are no problem. Alter Beast looks smooth and it just looks clean on this screen. So here's my take after actually using this thing. For $52, the RG35XXH is kind of ridiculous. You're getting HDMI out, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Moonlight streaming, full RetroArch support, and dual SD cards, and up to 512 gigabytes, and a chipset that handles PS1 and heavier arcade titles way better than expected at this price point. Now, it's not replacing a Steam Deck, obviously, but as a retro handheld, I mean, you could throw it in your pocket and it's easily one of the best deals out there right now. If you want to check it out, the link is going to be in the description. And if AliExpress gives me a discount code, I'll put it down there too. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and take care, guys.